In my opinion, the three keys to financial success is being able to save money, being able to make money, and having bomb-ass credit. Because when you have good credit, everything else can pretty much fall in place. Welcome to the Startup Brain TV, where you can learn how to start and run a successful online business working from home or anywhere in the world, so you can finally live the life of freedom and fulfillment that you truly deserve. Welcome back to another video here today at the Startup Brain TV, the platform to help you buzz up and create wealth for yourself. Now, if you're new to my channel is all about business, entrepreneurship, and making money online. So if you're interested in all that type of content, be sure to hit the red subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the bell notification button, because that's the only way you will be notified each time I release a new video. So in today's video, I wanted to take it a little bit in a different direction. I talk a lot about making money online, but the one thing I don't really talk about is saving money. Now, I know a lot of people that watch my videos are people who are looking to start an online business. They want to make extra income. They're looking for side hustles, home business ideas, or they want to start an online boutique. So it only makes sense to create a video around saving money as well, because some people don't have the money to start a business. So unless you're able to save money to start up your business, your only option is to go out there and get a loan from friends, family, or head over to the bank. But why not save money and invest that money in your business? It'll be so much easier for you, and you don't have to pay any money back, okay? So I thought I'm going to share with you guys some of the strategies that I personally use on ways that you can actually save yourself money in 2020, and then use that money to reinvest back into your business or clear your debts. Because the best things that you can have in life, financially of course, is being able to save money, being able to make money, invest, and get yourself a return on investment. And of course, that ultimately builds your credit score, because if your credit score is good, then you're pretty much good. You can go out there and apply for so many things and get access to them, of course, as long as you can repay them. You don't want to mess up your credit now, do you? So I'm going to be talking about some strategies and things that you're probably aware of, and some that you may not be aware of. But either way, I hope you learned something new from this video. So if you're interested in finding out how you can save money, especially if you are on a tight budget, because a lot of people are probably on a minimum wage or on a low income, or their expenses surpass their income. So if you're someone in that position and you're looking for ways to save money, then this video is for you. Get yourself a pen and paper, get your notepad out. Let's get right into this video. So the first step to saving is to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You need to plan your finances in advance. If you don't know how much money is coming in and how much money is leaving, in fact, most of the times we all know how much money we're going to be getting at the end of the month from our job. But what we don't know in most cases, for a lot of people anyway, is how much money is leaving your bank account every single month. It may seem like you're just spending, £3 or $3 on Starbucks here and there. Those $3 or £3 do add up eventually to thousands. And these are the little petty expenses that can end up putting you in a lot of debt, okay? So the first step to saving money is to plan. Have a spreadsheet. You can go on Google Drive and get yourself access to the Google Sheet, which is basically an Excel spreadsheet. It's free. There's a lot of free Microsoft Excel spreadsheets on every laptop right now. If you don't have access to a computer, use your phone. If you don't have access to a phone, if you're watching this video, then you probably have access to some sort of device, right? Get a pen and paper, go old school. Draw out your list of income, your list of expenses. Income is basically the money that you're receiving every single month. So that could be from your job in most cases. How much is your salary every single month after taxes? Note that down. That's basically your take-home pay. How much do you spend every single month? If you're not sure how much you spend every single month, go to your bank statements. You can get a copy of your bank statements. Have a look at all the direct debits and the standing orders coming out of your account on a regular basis. These are your fixed expenses. And then of course you have your variable expenses, which are things like, a one-off Starbucks coffee cup or dinner out with your friends that happens occasionally, or a trip to the movies, or a nice splash on a Louis Vuitton bag, for example, which you do on a one-off basis. These are variable costs as well. So you need to make sure that you put together, first of all, your fixed costs. So these things like your rent, things that are fixed every single month. Think about, insurance, taxes, licenses, anything that you pay on a monthly basis, okay, that is fixed. Put those together under your expenses column. And then what you want to do is allocate a budget. Tell yourself, you know what, this is how much I'm going to be spending on expenses this month for rent and the most essential things that you need to survive, food and everything else. And then allocate an amount for everything else, and give yourself a budget. So you really have to restrict yourself so that at the end of the month you tell yourself, you know what, I only gave myself a budget of $100 for any miscellaneous costs. I'm not gonna go above that budget. So you're not going out there to splash on a Louis Vuitton purse because you don't actually need that Louis Vuitton purse because your bank balance cannot afford it, okay? So you need to start by planning your budgets in advance. There's actually a spreadsheet that I use. I'm going to leave a link below. If you guys want to access that spreadsheet, you can head over there, check it out. Once you know how much income is coming in and you know how much expenses are going out, you need to make sure that you have a savings account. This is really, really important to separate all your money, okay? Your direct debits obviously come out of your current account, which is where you're paid. Maybe that's where your rents come out, and everything else, that's pretty much the busy account, like I like to call it. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a separate account, which is ultimately going to be your savings account, where you put everything that is left over. So if your income is $2,000 in a month and your expenses are $1,800 in a month, then you have $200 extra left to spend. So what you want to do is, as soon as you get paid every single month, if you're getting paid on a weekly basis, make sure you eliminate how much you have left over and transfer that money to your savings account immediately. So if I'm getting paid today, I'm not going out there to splash out on, a night out with the girls. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move $200 into my savings account because I already know that at the end of the month, I have the $200 left to save, okay? And this is where the step one comes in handy, planning your finances, because if you know how much you're spending and you know how much you're making, you can deduct your expenses from your income and essentially get the savings or the extra that you have left that you can save in a month, okay? So you really have to be strict, okay, when it comes to this. You need to really be self-disciplined when it comes to saving money. So if at the end of the month you get your $2,000, the first thing you want to do is move $200 straight into your savings account, and then anything else you have in your account is there for the month, and you don't have to touch your savings account unless you have an emergency, for example. So that's another way to really save money, especially when you're on a tight budget, because trust me, there's a lot of things you can eliminate from your lifestyle to save you a lot of money, which takes me to step 3. Now we've planned our finances and we have a savings account open. The next step now is to start looking into other ways to cut down on your ongoing costs or your ongoing expenses. Now things like your rent, your bills, insurance, those are things that you need to survive every single month. So essentially we're just gonna leave those ones out, okay? Unless you're a single person living in a 10-bedroom property, or you're living in a property that is too large for you and you're just wasting so much money paying rents that you don't need to pay for that extra space, which you would then need to essentially find somewhere cheaper or somewhere smaller. You're gonna have to substitute until you can save up enough to clear your debts and be back on track, okay? So the best thing to do at this stage is start looking at how you can eliminate or cut down the current expenses that you have. So if you're paying a gas bill of $60 or £60 every single month, are there cheaper gas companies that you can use that still offer a similar service but can cut you the cost? You can also look into that. There's a lot of price comparison websites that you can use to see what cheaper alternatives are out there. Just because you've been with that gas company for the last 10 years doesn't necessarily mean that they are the best gas companies out there. There's other gas companies out there that you could definitely look into in order to minimize your costs and your expenses, okay? Another way you can actually save costs, of course, is to look into cutting down things on, especially food, which is something we spend a lot on. I'm actually guilty of this. Spending a lot on fast food, takeaway, they do add up. Takeaway food is really expensive, and you don't know how much money you can save by just meal prepping your own meals in advance. What I like to do is I cook my meals on a Sunday and they last me a week. Of course, sometimes I still splash out on the occasional takeaway, but it's not an everyday occurrence for me. So I'm still at the positive. I'm still saving a lot of money, and I'm eating healthy meals as well, because we don't know what is put in all these foods that we eat out, okay? Not to put anyone off eating out, but if you can make your own fresh home cooked meals, then even better for you and your health as well, okay? So look at how you can eliminate certain unnecessary expenses. Going to the cinema, if that's a regular occurrence for you, you can actually get yourself Netflix. It's only like $7.99 a month or something like that, and you can watch unlimited movies at the comfort of your home. You don't have to go out there in the cold or struggle in traffic or pay for parking fees, and when you can just sit in your home, get your girls or your boys round, sit down, have a beer, make some popcorn, and get that whole cinematic experience. And for me, the last time I went to the cinema was probably when Girls Trip came out. What year was that? I don't remember, but I know it's been a while actually since I last went to the movies. Thank God for Netflix. I just Netflix and chill at home in my pajamas. So much more convenient for me, you know. Another way you can save money is on your shopping. One thing that works well for me is I always have a shopping list with me. It says if I'm going to the mall or going to the supermarket and purchasing things that I don't need. So again, this comes down to planning. How much food do you need to survive in a week? What do you need to eat in that week? Are you buying all these extra things that you don't need to eat that are probably just gonna expire in your fridge? If you're just gonna buy things and not cook them, then you're just wasting money. So the best thing to do is plan your meals ahead and also have a shopping list for the week. That way you know exactly how much you're spending and you know exactly what you need to spend on. I think the worst thing you can ever do is go shopping whilst hungry. I've done that before and I've ended up with donuts and all sorts of junk that I don't even want to eat, okay? So don't make that mistake. Don't shop on an empty stomach, because it then pushes you to buy things that you don't necessarily need to eat or even want to eat, okay? So try and eat before you go shopping. That's an extra tip from me. I always try to eat, or at least have a full stomach before you go shopping, because you can focus more and stop picking out all the rubbish that you don't really necessarily need. So have a shopping list. It really helps to guide what you need. So when you go there, you're basically just ticking that checklist. Don't go above that shopping list unless it's something that you feel is really, really necessary, okay? That's another great way to program yourself to stick to a budget and essentially save money. And finally, when you have your money saved, don't splash those savings on liabilities. When I talk about liabilities, I talk about things that you will be liable to, things that are going to put you in debt, things that are not going to bring you any money in return, things that you will not gain any return on investment in. So a liability will be something like an expensive Chanel purse that you're going to buy and then maybe use 1 or 2 times, a couple of times, and then you're going to be running after the next shiny object out there. That Chanel purse is going to depreciate. It's not going to bring you money. You can treat yourself, don't get me wrong, that's fine. But if you've got only just enough savings that can afford a Chanel purse, then maybe you don't need that Chanel purse. You should really be investing in assets. Invest in things that can actually generate you more money in advance. So if you've managed to save $2,000, you don't want to use $2,000 to buy a Birkin bag. You want to, okay, let's say you want to treat yourself. Why not get $1,000 and buy, you know, a nicer bag that is still of good quality, and then invest the other $1,000. Don't splash out all your savings on liabilities that are going to put you in more debt. But also make sure that you're investing some of that money back, or at least you have a good savings account that can generate you a high interest at the end of the year. So the banks are basically going to be paying you some savings income at the end of the year. Or alternatively, invest in a good business. I talk a lot about businesses here. Online businesses are very easy to get started. You can literally start a business online for less than $100. You don't need thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars to invest in a business. Thank God for the internet. You can actually start yourself an online business for less than $100. Seriously, I started my online boutique with less than £300, okay? My books that I wrote personally and self-published, it literally costed me less than £50 to write these books and get the e-covers done and have them uploaded on Amazon ready to sell. So honestly, you can start yourself an online business with literally no investment whatsoever, okay? I have a lot of videos here where I talk about starting an online business, and you can also check out my book, The 21-Day Boss. It's currently available on Amazon right now in pretty much most parts of the world. So if you go on your Amazon right now and search for The 21-Day Boss, you will definitely find this book. So this is my book that talks about making your money work for you, creating more wealth, and becoming your own boss. So if you're in a position right now where you're looking to create more financial independence and you're looking for different online businesses that you can start with, and ultimately how to create more wealth for yourself, do check out The 21-Day Boss. It's an amazing book. It has so many strategies, so many step-by-step guides to help any beginner out there create wealth for themselves. Remember, the key is to save more, create more wealth, and spend less on liabilities that will put you in debt. So I hope you guys found this video useful on ways to save money, especially if you are on a tight budget. Leave your comments down below. hit that red subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification button, and I look forward to catching up with you guys in my next video. Bye.